Welcome back to the Week 10 edition of my NFL Pick'em. Week 9 started out with another ass whooping on Thursday Night Football as the Raiders announced their contention for the first overall pick in the 2019 NFL Draft. Once again, I should have known better than to pick a shitty team like the Raiders, especially on Thursday Night Football, but honestly, I thought that they could take advantage of the quarterback situation the 49ers are dealing with. Instead, the Raiders got chewed up by some undrafted guy named Nick Mullins. It really seems like the games with two bad teams are a lot harder to predict than those that feature two good teams. I had another decent week last week. I was a few primetime games and a missed field goal away from a perfect week. Here are the top picks from week 9 with a 6-way tie for the top spot. And these are the leading entries so far in this Pick'em challenge, with Allen the God reclaiming his place as the top spot, with last week's leader RK Knoll right on his heels. Remember, the top guy at the end of the season gets an NFL Shop gift card. Somehow I was completely stagnant after week 9 and stayed in 83rd place overall. You guys absolutely crushed the like goal once again last week. Thank you all so much for the support on this channel. We're growing this group every week, and it's because you guys are helping me by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much. I can't tell you how much that helps. This week the goal is going to be 500 likes. Let's jump into these picks. On Thursday Night Football this week, we've got Panthers at Steelers. I'm not a huge fan of primetime games being AFC, NFC matchups, but you could argue that an interconference game like this is a perfect matchup for Thursday Night Football, especially at this point in the season. That way, it's not such a crucial game with playoff implications, but can still be used as a measuring stick for both teams moving forward. The Panthers and Steelers are both definitely contenders in their respective divisions and conferences and have only a few days to prepare after tough divisional wins. The Steelers played the more physical team, and that could be a difference this week, especially while they're dealing with the distraction of Le'Veon Bell due back a few days after this game. But at the same time, Thursday Night Football puts the away team at such a disadvantage. I think that the Panthers are the better team, but the home field advantage in Thursday Night Football has tricked me a few times in the past. I gotta go with the home team again here because their offense is just too much for the Panthers to keep up with. Steelers win 34-31. Lions at Bears. Sorry guys, but the Lions just aren't very good right now. Meanwhile, the Bears are coming off an extra bye week in the form of the Buffalo Bills. Khalil Mack has been able to rest up and heal, while the Bears have been able to get by without him and still lead the division right now. I don't think that the Bears are the best team in the NFC North right now, despite their current record, but if they can get this offense going, then look out, because this could be a very dangerous team in December and possibly even January. That hasn't been the case yet, and concerns about Mitch Trubisky's development are starting to arise. This is the type of game where the Lions could actually come to play, and their divisional familiarity with the Bears could put them on upset alert early on. In the end, I just don't think they have it in them, and if Khalil Mack is back, then this is a lock. Bears win 24-23. Saints at Bengals. The Saints are coming off the biggest win of the 2018 season after knocking off the 8-0 Rams, and they look like they could beat anyone in a variance of ways right now. The Bengals are about as inconsistent as they come and could get exposed early on in this game. At least the Bengals didn't lose AJ Green for the year, so their season isn't over just yet, but it's unlikely he plays this week, and I think the Bengals would need an all-hands-on-deck approach to win this one. The only way I see the Bengals pulling the upset here is if the weather is real crappy and Drew Brees gets shook or knocked around early on. Otherwise, Saints win 30-23. Falcons at Browns. The Falcons beat up the Redskins pretty bad last week in ways that the Redskins hadn't really been getting beat this season. Their offense looks even more explosive with Tevin Coleman as the lead back, and the concerns with Steve Sarkisian and his play calling have subsided. The Browns got spanked by the best team in the AFC in their first game with Greg Williams as their interim head coach, but I'd expect a better performance from them in their second go-round here. The injury to Denzel Ward really concerns me. Even if he plays, he probably won't be 100%, and Julio Jones finally caught his first touchdown catch in almost a year last week, and I think that they might start to come in bunches for him now. Falcons win 37-28. Jaguars at Colts. Is this where Blake Bortles and company put it together against a divisional foe to get the Jaguar season back on track? Nah, Andrew Luck has been on fire lately, and they're actually the ones that have been slowly getting better each and every week. The Colts offensive line has finally come together, and the weapons around Luck are getting healthy. Colts win 24-19. Cardinals at Chiefs. Whew, look away, kids. This one could get ugly. The poor Cardinals get tasked with trying to stop the best offense that we've seen in a while with just some spare parts they've got on defense. Patrick Peterson and Budda Baker will have their hands full trying to stop the Chiefs' passing game. I won't waste too much time on this one. Chiefs win 41-24. Bills at Jets. When you think of the worst case scenario for a quarterback situation, this is it. Your starting quarterback goes down and you've got shitty weapons for a shitty quarterback to throw to. A quarterback that you had to sign off the street because of the trades of Tyrod Taylor and AJ McCarron completely depleted the halfway decent options that you had at backup quarterback. Not to mention, one of those guys took you to the playoffs for the first time in like forever. Jets fans, on the other hand, are getting worried about the Sam Darnold interceptions, but I'm not, and I wouldn't be if I were you. Let him make these mistakes now. Take these chances. You really shouldn't be trying to win games anyways because you need another solid draft haul, and Todd Bowles needs to look as incompetent as possible so that he can get fired so you can bring in another guy better suited for Darnold's development. The Jets' tank efforts will have to be put on pause this week though because they've got the lowly Bills coming in, and there's a chance that one of you guys watching this video could start for the Bills at quarterback this week. Jets win 28-13. Redskins at Buccaneers. The Redskins not only lost at home to the Falcons last week, they lost a good portion of their starting offensive line. An offensive line that's part of an offensive unit that was already struggling to find able bodies. Ryan Fitzpatrick got off to a slow start against the Panthers, which are a really underrated defense, mind you, but he hung in there, found the open guys, and brought the Bucs back into the game after being down big. I think that momentum carries into this week, and the offensive line issues for the Redskins really stunt their offensive production. Buccaneers win 26-13. Patriots at Titans. I always tell people that a wise man once told me to never pick against Belichick and Brady in these pick'ems. I just hate the Patriots so much that my desire to root against them still to this day clouds my judgment sometimes. The Titans are coming off of a big win on Monday Night Football against the Cowboys, where it looked like the Cowboys gave the Titans the assist on their victory with poor, sloppy play and predictable coaching. The last Belichick disciple that the Patriots played against was able to take his knowledge of their system and use it against them en route to the Lions' biggest win of the season. Does Mark Vrabel do the same this week? I don't think so. The Titans still didn't look that great for a majority of Monday Night Football, and they won't be able to rely on the Patriots not capitalizing on their own mistakes. Patriots win 27-24. Chargers at Raiders. The Chargers are really hitting their stride right now, and the Chiefs should be nervous that if they slip up at all, that the Chargers will be right there the rest of the way to snatch the division from their grasp. It's unlikely that happens, but having gimme games like the Raiders makes it easier to keep pace with the Chiefs for at least another week until the Chiefs have to play them again. My midseason mock draft should be coming this week, Raiders fans, if there's any of you still out there anymore. Chargers win 38-20. Dolphins at Packers. Can someone tell me why this game is in the later time slot? Those are usually for the good games, and these two teams are struggling to find themselves right now. The Packers are one more loss away from a complete meltdown, while the poor Dolphins are just trying to win with Brock Osweiler. Or maybe they're not trying to win, I don't know. Packers win 28-17. Seahawks at Rams. The Seahawks played the Rams really tight when they played earlier this season in Seattle, so this could also be a really good game once again, but I just don't see that happening after the Rams took that loss to New Orleans. I think that they're going to come out and assert their dominance on a Seahawks team that probably had you fooled a couple weeks ago. Rams win 34-24. On Sunday Night Football, we've got Cowboys at Eagles. The Cowboys looked as bad as ever on Monday Night Football last week and now have to travel to Philadelphia for another primetime game, and they get an Eagles team that should be ready to show off their shiny new toy, Golden Tate. Golden Tate's actually going to play the Cowboys 3 times this season, and he almost single-handedly beat them earlier this year and always gives them a good game. If this game was not right after the Eagles bye week, I might entertain the idea that the Cowboys could be the more desperate team here, and the Eagles might be looking ahead to the Saints game. Mind you, that also just got flexed into the late afternoon game the following week. But this Cowboys team is just too poorly coached right now, and the Eagles are just too well coached to fall. Eagles win 28-24. And then on Monday Night Football this week, we've got Giants at 49ers. Guys, the NFL must really hate ESPN these days because you can tell from the matchups that they've been giving them. This might have been a good early season Monday Night Football matchup, and you could never predict the Jimmy Garoppolo injury, but nonetheless, here we are. Eli Manning, a 2-time Super Bowl champion, is about to get outplayed by an undrafted quarterback making his second start. I want to believe that the Giants can win this game because of the fact that they've got a ton of ballers, and ballers like to shine on Monday Night Football, and Odell Beckham Jr. could will them to a victory himself, but the safe option here is the 49ers. 49ers win 23-17. That is going to do it for week 10. Thank you so much for watching, listening, commenting, subscribing, all those good things. Make sure you hit that like button as we're trying to hit 500 likes again. If this is your first time watching these videos, watching these pick'ems, please hit that subscribe button, join the bell notification so you can be one of the first people to see these picks, so you can make sure that you use them to whatever you want to use them for. If you're using them to help with your pick'em, that's awesome. If you're using them to pick against my picks because you don't like my picks, go for it. Also, stay tuned for my mock draft. I should have it out at the end of this week. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you in the next video.